movement up part is challenging in the sense of not everybody in the platoon has worked together before. So as far as spacing, hand and arm movements, and some of their own standard operating procedures might not be well rehearsed at this point, being as it is their first day in the FTX.
Now you really have to be an adaptive leader because the way that you had learned how to do it in the book, the way the Ranger Handbook told you how to do it, is not going to cut it anymore. Now, you need to take all the lessons that you learned in Darby and mountains and the things that the instructors have taught you from Florida, you need to put all those things together so that you can be successful in your operation. So that was really cool. It's like, that was the culminating event in my mind, was like being able to see not just myself, but my Ranger buddies be able to make really tactically sound decisions in situations that seemed impossible.
We expect them to lead their squads. They've been through 2 phases to this point. We expect them to understand what it takes to lead a patrol and successfully lead the men and women that they're with. That's a given. They're expected to do that in the first 2 phases. Here, we expect them to be a team. We throw challenges at them that are not on a checklist. We expect them to succeed given the conditions we set forth for them, and we want them to demonstrate the resilience to not go off the checklist, but to succeed because it's the right thing to do. Because if you can succeed as a team, together, you'll graduate here.
I wouldn't say that patrols are harder here. We don't make it harder than mountains or Benning phase. I think the cumulative effect of everything they've been through does make it harder, but it is a little bit more hands-off when it comes to, just because of the nature, they're running faster here in Florida phase. So they've already got a lot of the classes from mountains on patrolling on the patrol base, and so the RIs have to spend less time teaching those things and more time instructing and evaluating them as Ranger students. And so it's not necessarily harder, I would just say it's different. The Florida conditions are different than mountains and Benning, and so it just presents different challenges.
And I got a baby due in May, and I left her with a 4-year-old at home, and she's been holding it down. She's been holding it down and doing such a great job with her, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, and I love you, bros, with all my heart, forever knows.
And then you have my brother. He's a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps over in Okinawa, Japan. He's actually a ground supply officer. And then you have these are the fun family photos.
Let's just say that I had a great example, superior officer in Finland, and he went through Ranger School in 2013. And I started seeing a lot of leaders in my organization, and it's a really good way. I always see them come back, and they just established a good leader, so it's kind of something I want to jump into and continue, especially to be a part of my organization. He told me stories about this and about what kind of leadership experience and what kind of friends you get down here, and so it was like 3 years ago, and I just decided that if I ever got a chance to get to Ranger School, I will definitely go.
And you have Zombieopoly, which is like Monopoly, but like it's like Plants vs. Zombies, I guess, is the theme. And this always ends up with me and my little sister actually fighting, and then my older brother breaking up the fight. But it's a fun photo because you see I'm actually winning in the picture, believe it or not, and then my dad's being goofy, and kind of reminds you of the stuff you're fighting for while you're out here just going through the grind and why you don't give up.
Today, the students are inserting via air assault, and that is to provide them with an element of surprise and speed as they go to hit their respective objectives. We don't teach character in Ranger School. We expose these students to the conditions where their
said mission was decreased significantly. So in mountains, you had multiple hours to do so. Now you might have an hour to conduct the same kind of mission, same complexity, but have to do it in half the allotted time.
We teach Ranger students in this phase to fight and win in a coastal swamp environment. We put them through what we mainly define as severely restricted terrain, and again, specific to here is coastal swamp. While maneuvering through swamps, which students will do twice in a phase, one at the Boiling Creek and once on the Weaver Creek, they're going to move through, they're going to encounter a stream or a river that can't be just walked through. The best way to move men, weapons, and equipment with a light infantry dismounted platoon in that way is to build a one-rope bridge. The one-rope bridge helps them get all men, weapons, and equipment across the stream in a way that's both safe and time-effective.
After those first 5 days, we are conducting an airborne operation into a 10-day field training exercise.
My mom, she'd always tell me jokes. She was back in Mexico. She was like, she'd be walking to school and she'd see a snake and she'd just grab it by his head and twist it. Also crazy stuff. At first I'm like, yo, 'cause I don't know, something wrong with my head. I actually got excited. I was like, yo, I'm gonna actually see a rattlesnake out here. I'm gonna see a black bear. I'm gonna see an alligator. I was like, wait till I see one of them. I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill them. My mom she was a real SA. And I just wanted to do the same, you know? So I'm afraid of dinosaurs. So I'm not, that is a game over. Game over if an alligator's coming at me. Just gotta run faster than Coleman right here, and we'll be fine.
I actually turned 23 here in Florida Phaser Ranger School on April 1st, and my mom sent me, I asked for a couple of photos, just like keep on me, and my mom is obsessed with pictures, ended up getting probably 300. So over the course of the past Techniques week, I've just been kind of looking through them all and then picking out my favorite ones, like this one, my parents when they first moved to Huntsville, Alabama.
I told my wife that I'm so sorry that I left her at this, but the cumulative effect of bending and mountain phase does make it harder for Ranger students because they've lost sometimes 30, 40, 50 pounds getting no sleep, so that does take an effect on a person's body.
I need to push left a little bit to the street. I rolled to the ship. Hey, what is that? What's up? Tanner, push up to the street. Hey, you just been shot in the chest, right? On the roof. Clear. Hey, send your EPW.
In Florida, the patrol bases definitely got a lot more complicated.
Every morning in Florida, you wake up and immediately you start digging your hole for the day. Whether you're in a 2-man fighting position, a 3-man, or you're in a weapon squad hole, or an apex. And depending on which one you're in, it can take anywhere from an hour to 2.5 hours to dig your entire hole. I actually enjoyed them. I didn't like the digging part, but if you actually built a good shelter, you were really enjoying.
True character is exposed, and they're the ones that have to succeed in the environment that they have to lead in.
Being a good leader is also just being a good follower, supporting my other teammates when they're in a leadership position.
It gets to show you how you're going to act under pressure, how you're going to act when there's very little time to get it done, when you're hungry, when you're fatigued. That makes you a better overall soldier. It makes you a better overall leader. And basically, it makes you the best American we can.
Shout out to my buddy Ranger Rowe for getting me the most lost that I've ever been in my entire life on a patrol as my alpha team leader. That was absolutely horrendous. Just kidding, buddy. I love you. But no, he was using a wrist compass to navigate us, no lens attic, and just every single thing that we had talked about and planned about a specific route that we needed him to take, it's like he went the exact opposite of everything that we said. No comms either, so every single time he went to the wrong direction, I had to sprint up to the front of the formation and make a correction. It was to the point where, I think I gotta go on that patrol because the RI felt bad for, what I was dealing with for the entire movement to the ORP.
The flat ground in Florida was simple. You either loved it or you hated it. The ones that weren't good at land nav hated it because it was impossible to find where you were on the map unless you were spot on with your azimuth and pace count. You really had to focus on the microterrain. And if you didn't utilize the microterrain while you were there, your ORP was direct line of sight with the objective. So you had to use those little berms or else you would have been compromised.
Right now, the platoon is being held to secure this east-west running road that they're about to cross, continuing north to their objective. So far, the platoon has already needed RI assistance to get them on track. They failed to create a solid enough backstops around where they were being inserted and kind of lost where they were. They were off track by several hundred meters. We had to intervene, try to get them back on track and get them going back down their correct mission azimuth. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
So what this platoon in particular is doing is we broke the platoon up into 3 smaller sections. One section is learning about direct fire control measures. One is learning about post-assault procedures, and the other is learning about machine gun emplacement.
They go over all the basic stuff, ambush raid, patrol-based stuff. But their emphasis is more on these are the differences that we want to see in Florida versus what you've learned in mountains and Darby. They did a really good job emphasizing what to focus on and what things you can cut out that aren't necessarily required that we learned in previous phases. And they give you a lot of time to develop SOPs because that really became the bread and butter of how the patrols went, was what your platoon decided they were going to do for ORP establishment, for patrol-based activities, all those kind of little things. They give you a lot of freedom.
The next day, we'll start the day with mission planning. So you get a class on mission planning, which you should have already received in mountains, but it's just another way of making sure that everyone's on the same page because people fall asleep during classes all the time.
Florida for me, because I've been, up until this point, gonna go 62 and through. It was definitely the fatigue. It started to catch up for me initially. I could tell that I wasn't as mentally focused. I was definitely physically weaker, noticeably. A lot of it was because I've been carrying machine guns, that kind of thing, a lot in mountains, so I definitely lost a lot of muscle, weight, that kind of thing.
We have 5 Mile Road, that can be used as a...
Under the watchful eye of the Ranger instructors, the students refine their mission briefing skills. While it isn't glamorous, this critical step in the planning process will set the stage for their success, or failure, when they step out on patrol. Getting these repetitions in now, while they are well-fed and rested, will help develop the muscle memory required for them to perform when they are both sleep-deprived and hungry.
Myself and Cat Batley are gonna kind of tag team it to fix some things that we noticed, all right? For starters, talk about some small things. When we're briefing, brief only information that is required for this mission. I don't care about the weekly weather. I wanna know about what the weather looks like for what I'm going into for today and tonight, all right?
The biggest thing that changed was the time that you had to plan and then execute.